Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Stickers and Scuffs podcast with Cam K and Graydon Bunn. This week, we're really excited to welcome in can we call you a budding star? I don't know, man. A rising star, a young superstar.
The astronaut.
Yeah, there's something I haven't heard in a while.
There we go. Brandon McFerran is on the show. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man, this is something we were hoping to get you on. We've been chatting about this for a while, and we finally got to make it happen. And it's funny because the racing world is still really new to Graydon and I in terms of knowing people.
Right.
And, we were fans. We've stepped back. We are still big fans. But the very first race for the Pinty Series, I knew a familiar face there because you were working in Brent Weller's 61 pit. And I was not expecting that the 61 was going to be there. So it was really cool that we were finally able to kind of, I was able to see you at the track, but let's get everybody aware of how you got started in racing and, really, and this is the key thing because everybody likes to do it right nice and quick. Let's start by how you were introduced to racing, whether it was through NASCAR, IndyCar, TV, playing with cars, family members.
Well, my dad, he grew up being best friends with Billy Zardo. So he kind of was always around it. And he raced a little bit when he was, probably my age. And, once I was born and old enough to race a go-kart, I was in a go-kart. So, it kind of started off with the Zardos, and I was actually raced one of their go-karts for the first ever time. They had one kicking around. So they said, if he likes it, you might as well try ours. And it just took off from there. And I think I was 6 years old. I started in Batavia, New York, because I wasn't old enough to race in Canada. So every Saturday or something, I think we drove down to stateside to race go-karts. So I did that for about a year or so. And then when I was old enough, I got to the junior late models at Grand Bend Speedway, the J-Car series, did a bit of travel in there. Never had much success in that series. I guess you could say I was scared of it. I don't know. I just was no good. My dad was like, I didn't think you were going to be a race car driver. And, so he told me back to go-karts. I think I did 2 years in the J-Car series, and he told me back to go-karts, and did that till I was about, I would have been, I guess 11, 12, 10 or 11. And I went back and I did one more race for a guy in the J-Car series. And all of a sudden I came out of the woodworks and, 3 wide, 4 wide, tearing stuff up, tearing the nose off the car. And Dad's like, where was this a couple years ago when I was spending all the money? So he's like, well, I might have hope yet. And then when I was 11, we did our first mini stock race when I was 11 at Flamborough.
Holy crap,
man! Oktoberfest Classic, and that was when we were getting 50 cars for a race, and there were some heavy hitters there. There was the guys of the Spire crew, Billy Schwarzenberg, Samantha Shaw, Dale Shaw was still in a mini stock, Dave Bailey. There's so many more guys that were in that division when I got started, and to make a race was big. And I was so nervous, and by the grit of my teeth, I just made it in. And we went a couple laps down, we finished like 20th. And the next year when I was 12, I came back and won the same race. So it kind of just took off from there. And we raced mini stocks for I guess it would have been to 2015. And then we built the super stock and went racing super stocks. there's a quick little rundown of what I did.
That was great. I'm kind of like, that's a TV movie right there, man. That's
no doubt. Like, holy, like you build one hell of a racing resume before you're even a teenager, man.
That was just a little crash course. I've done some pretty cool things in between. I got to race a TQ midget for Mac Demand. Those things are wild. Basically had to make a will before I got in one of them things. They're like a little death trap.
No kidding.
Did that. And, I raced a super stock once before I got into the super stocks. I raced for Caden Lapsovich because he was running the Pinty series down in out west or something. So got my feet wet there, and a couple 8-mile races in between. So done a little bit, but mostly super stock and mini stock.
Where's the end goal here, Brandon?
Whew.
It's a loaded question,
broke.
I know.
The end goal is not to go broke, and you know, I've been lucky enough to have a lot of good supporters behind me, and I guess you could say the last couple of years I've really toned it back because you know, life gets in the way, right? I got to start working and putting first things first. So it kind of toned me back in the last, you almost go 3 years that I haven't really done much racing at all. And, you know, I was fortunate enough to get kind of picked up by Jeff Stewart's and Stewart's Equipment to run his car. And, you know, for the first time in a long time, I can finally say we're going to go back racing full time. So we're going to be running at Sunset and the Quick Wick series. So I'm pretty excited. Yeah. But as an end goal, you know what? Just to be at a racetrack every Saturday for a long time. That's the goal, man. Don't matter what I'm in. I'll race a go-kart again, but I don't think this belly is going to allow me to do that.
Yeah, we're nice and comfortable, but we're not the best in terms of fitting into stuff, right, buddy?
Hey, we're comfortable in the winter, let me tell you.
Exactly, man. We got the insulation. These guys beside us, they got to worry about getting the layers on where we're dying of heat, right? I'm very curious about this because you had mentioned that you obviously started off and things maybe didn't go that great. Your dad had asked you that question, but I'm curious what your answer was. Where was that intensity when you first started? Was it fear, and you just kind of, when now you're older and mature, it wasn't as scary, or what was do you feel was the reason that it all of a sudden came to you?
I don't know. Like, he always laughs at this one story. Cause I have a brother, an older brother, and we were both racing at the same time. Unfortunately, he's not racing no more, but at the time I was in the J car series and he was racing one of the mini trucks, and he was doing really well, winning races, but he was replacing body panels like they're going out of style. Where my car came off the track looking pristine every week. So my dad, I remember, like, he tells me, he says, the one time I asked you, like, why aren't you going out there and winning the race? And I told my dad, he's like, well, my car still looks good after the race. His doesn't. Like, I don't care what it takes. He's out, replace every panel on the damn car, go win a race. I don't know if it was fear or I don't know if I just didn't want to knock a body fender or something off. So, but it quickly went away. And, I remember racing with guys in the J car series like Connor James, Brendan Bullen. Who else? There's a lot of guys I grew up racing with in that series. Like, I remember Cole Powell was in the trucks. There was a lot of names that are still racing today that I grew up racing with. Shea Gemmell, Josh Stoddy, all them guys. So, yeah.
Like, when you're bringing us up to speed there on your career, like you got to experience sort of the concept of touring at a fairly young age, which kind of helps when you get into the other series. Yeah. Getting used to a grind of some sort during racing season. And then you also spoke to, like, kind of the time that you were coming up and the talent pool that you were up against. I mean, you're going up against, as you said, like, you might finish a couple of laps down at Flamborough, but you're finishing a couple of laps down at Flamborough to like some of the best. I mean, if that doesn't help you cut your teeth, I don't know what does, man.
It definitely helped condition. It'll help condition anybody to get ready for what's about to come up. You know what I mean? Like, I watch the old kids now in the same series, and it's like, it's kind of a little flashback. At the time I had no idea what was actually happening. You know what I mean? I was just a kid racing, and now being 22 years old, seeing these little kids at Sunset racing these mini cars, I'm like, they're getting ready to be the next whoever. You know what I mean? So it's pretty neat. Yeah, you're right. It does condition you for an APC series when you get to that, or it's pretty cool.
Like you say, when something just kind of like, maybe you're a little bit timid or something at first, but it's kind of like anything where, I don't know, I would attribute it to getting fluent with an excavator or learning to drive an 18 speed or something like that. It's just when you're getting into it, brand new, you're learning all the time, whether you don't really realize it. You're learning by screwing up and learning, and learning your habits and stuff of driving and everything. And then one day it just, when you're going at, for example, Flamborough like that, or Sunset, where it's a grinder for no matter how long the race is, you're learning all around you. You're seeing action happen and people learning different ways to lean on each other or run a different line. So, I mean, you might not realize it, but you're learning the whole time.
You are, man. And they're great little cars to learn in. And like I said, and I'll always resort back to this. At the time, I didn't realize what it does for you as a, growing up as a race car driver, because I watch them now and you're learning how to set the guys up. Those cars are all momentum. When you're driving them, and like these kids, they're badass, man. They're going in the corner, setting the guy up, driving underneath them, and I'm like, my goodness, like I was never that good with that age. So we're in for a treat when these little kids, like Cole Burrows, he pretty well won everything in them things, and
he's pretty good.
I watch him about any chance I can get. And now he's in a mini stock, and it was like the transition was like almost nothing to him, and he was really good right into a mini stock off the bat.
Well, it's funny because we know the history kind of with let's say the NASCAR side of things, the IndyCar side of things. What is the common thread? It's the younger drivers that started out beating the older drivers. They're the ones that make kind of up the ladder, and you have to start young because that's the easiest way to get noticed, right? It's really easy to get forgotten about once you've kind of made it, especially in what you said, you're talking, you running the super stocks and running the APC late models. Those series have some of the most the biggest competition level in all of motorsports. And if you're not, and we've talked about it, anybody can really win in the APC series. Anybody can win super stocks.
Yep.
So week in and week out, you could have a bad race, and then all of a sudden you just left in the dust.
It's true, man. And I was, like I said, I stepped away from the racing scene for a bit, and I wanted to kind of get back into it. And I did so with starting to rent the Shaw Motorsports Pro Late model. And it was my bucket list ever since the APC started, was to, at least do a race with them. That was the end goal for me. So now anything that happens after that, it's just extra stuff to me, because that was my bucket list to do, to run an APC race. And I got to do it this year. And let me tell you what, it's not like I thought I was going to walk in there and do decent. I did not think that at all. But you got to be up on the wheel 100% of the time, like anything else. But I tell you what, those guys don't miss. They do not miss. And for me to step away from racing for 2 years and jump in a car, I went about it all wrong. You know what I mean? Like I needed a lot more practice, and I made the race. I made every race I tried to qualify for, and we made it like, 20th to 15th area. So that was still good. That was like a win for me. But those guys, they haven't stopped racing in the last 10 years. So for me to come in and make a race, but just realize how much work goes into one of them races. And even as a driver, like I only did about, I think the most laps I ever did was 25 laps, one of those things. I was about wore out. Tell you what, up on the wheel, like, they're still riding around, but they're up on the wheel. And I'm like, holy crap, this is crazy. So, you just, like I said, you got to try and be one step ahead of everybody at all times. And once you can figure that out, let me know.
Racing for a guy like Dale Shaw has got to be cool.
It is. Yeah. I grew up watching Jason and, guys like that, Jeff Stewart at Flamborough, Steve Laking, all them guys. And, as far as I can remember, Jason Shaw was the guy to beat most nights. Right. And Dale was in the mini stocks, and I started racing the mini stocks, and he was kind of always a bit of a mentor for me. Never shied away on helping me, like giving me tips and helping me out. He'd come over to the house on a Friday night, work in the shop, help get the car ready, because we struggled at the start like anybody would. And he always was there, like when the start, and then to do a couple late model deals with them was pretty cool because, you know, from where we started to now, it's kind of say you're at the top, right? So it's pretty cool.
You made or you had a couple of pretty good showings at the Canadian Short Track Nationals when they were still going, and you got a pretty sweet haircut from Bubba the Barber Pollard there, didn't you?
Yeah.
We got to hear this story.
I'd have to say them Herniak boys put you up to that, eh?
No. Come on.
Yeah, me and my, you know, like I said, my dad and Billy Zardo were best of friends growing up, and me and Lane Zardo kind of picked up right where they left off. We just go to the same babysitters and stuff. So
no way.
And nice. When the Jukasa, the short track nationals came around, we were throwing jabs, you know, who's going to beat who, because it was kind of the first time we raced.
I thought it was a bet.
Yeah, it was a bet.
And you picked Bubba Pollard?
Hey, I'm a sucker for a bet. And so the bet was, and Bubba Pollard had really nothing to do with the bet. It was who was going to beat who. So if I beat Lane, he was getting a haircut. And if he beat me, I was getting a haircut. So how Bubba got into play. So a few years ago, I met Bubba down at the Snowball Derby through friends. And, you know, we kind of always stayed in touch anytime we seen each other. And so at the short track nationals, it was under a rain delay. And I'm sitting beside the car talking to Lane, shooting the shit. Or sorry for my language, but yeah, we were shooting the bull.
It's okay here, buddy. Don't you worry.
And, you know, Bubba was walking around and he came up and started talking to me. And we were in the middle of talking about this haircut. And he says, "What's going on?" So I filled him in. Well, hell, I want to cut the person's hair.
That's where you went wrong.
Nice.
Right. So Lane's looking at me like, is this guy really serious? Like, he wants to cut our hair. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you actually want to? He's like, yeah, I'll cut it. So anyways, sure enough, we cut it right in victory lane. Lane went on to win the race. I finished fourth.
Yeah, you still got a top five. I mean,
yeah.
Hair grows back.
Yeah, we finished fourth, and I'll remember getting out of tech, and they were doing autograph session on the front straightaway or driver intros for the late model deal, and kind of walked past Bubba, and he went like this to me. Time for a haircut there. Started laughing. So he went on to win the race, and
that's awesome.
The Zardo crew didn't miss with the generators and clippers there in victory lane. She went down. There's a video of it somewhere on YouTube. So.
I believe I have seen the video of this.
Yeah, it was cool, and it was fun for the fans. It got a lot of exposure, and even leading up to it. So not many people can say they got a mohawk from Bubba Pollard. So
that's a fact, man.
It's an accolade that needs to go on your racing bio, man.
Yeah, really, I hear you.
It's not something that many people get to experience, and I don't think many people have gotten to experience racing on foot against Kevin Gallant either. And that was a video that I came across.
Man, there's some good ones.
I'm telling you, man. Guys like us aren't meant to run.
No.
But when we do, it's a beautiful thing, man.
So there's a video of that one somewhere too on YouTube.
That's how I became aware of it.
Yeah.
Because it was we can thank awesome. Pedal Power 51.
Yeah.
Our good pal Pedal Power, she was able to put that up. And as I was browsing one day, I said, hey, that looks like Brandon McFerran. Yeah, racing sure Kevin Gallant on foot.
On foot, yeah. We used to talk a lot of smack, him and I. We would race damn wheelbarrows at the house on the farm. So we were racing against each other. We were out of the same shop. He helped me for a couple years there, and it was a competition for like who could finish dinner quicker. You know what I mean? So this one night we were sitting at Oswego, and we were bickering back and forth, and Gary Calling, he's sitting behind us. He says, would you guys quit it? Like, would you quit it? And so he says, let's settle this once and for all. Let's do a little relay race on the front straightaway at Flamborough tomorrow night or something. And yeah, we did a relay race. There was jumping jacks and push-ups, and push-ups about killed me. And that flying farmer boy, he's a tough boy. He just pounded them out I was like, God damn. And I tried to cheat a little bit, and I got called on my BS and got the old can, so he won.
So what I'm hearing,
dude's got
man,
some arms on him.
I don't know. What I'm hearing is you're 0-2 so far on these deals, man. We gotta get you on the winning side, eh?
I'm a sucker for a bet, even if I know I'm losing. You know,
this is dangerous, man, because you got
Yeah.
two guys.
I
here
was
who
never
will-
one to shy away from something like that. I like your style, bud.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, we end up getting a Pinty's deal or something. We might have to do some Pinty's wing competition or something. There you go.
Yeah.
That's something you can't lose, right?
No,
we got to
no,
we got to
no
be
way.
good on that.
No, I can eat a few chicken wings. I can make them disappear pretty quick.
I've been known. I've been known to down a couple too. So, the racing, situation, super stocks this season, from the way it seems, Quick Wick and APC, the United Late Model Series, they are already releasing people that are going to be part of the roster. It's already started, and it's January.
Yeah.
So this field looks like it's going to be really stacked this year. What did you think about the events that you were able to get into last year during your race season? Whatever events you were able to race in, let's do like a 2021 comparison to where you think you are this year.
Well, I'll tell you,
full season, it's going to be different.
The most difficult thing I've done to this date was jump into the deep end of a Shark Tank at the end of a year, because them guys, they're on it, right? They've raced all year. They got their notes figured out. They've already been at the track multiple times. So for me to, roll a race car out of the shop that I'd never even been in, and throw a setup to it and go out I got ate up. First time I went to Sunset, they chewed me up, spit me out. I was like, we need to do something different, like ASAP. And just being like rusty on my driving style and having to relearn almost was what I had to do. And I hadn't raced most of these guys in 2 years. So a lot of change on and off the track, and the way you have to go about things. So the first, I would say 2 races, I had to do a lot of learning. I was back at school again, and, I'm always learning, but I was trying to do it like an express course, because I needed to figure something out. And what I was doing wasn't working. I was, getting caught up and stuff, and put myself, doing aggressive moves that I should have been doing, and put myself where I probably shouldn't have been. If I would have waited, probably would have, got that position the next lap, and not tore the front end off the car. So, I did 4 races. So the last 2 races, I kind of, just toned it back and just raced my race, and it got me a long way, and it got me 2 good finishes. So going into this year, I feel a lot better. We're prepared. We're going to run it like a business. I mean, I got some good guys on my corner. Jeff Stewart, car owner, Stewart's Equipment. They're backing me 110%.
Awesome.
Grateful for it. Like, I don't know if he knows how much I'm grateful for it, but I am. And, Mike Allen and Sean McWhorter, Streamline Race Products, like we're dealing with this, and we're going about it the right way, because we're not going to dilly-dally around. Like we want to win, and it's not going to be easy. So we're going at it the right way, making sure we're prepared, and we'll be all right. I think I feel good going into the season.
Stewart's just opened a new location in Simcoe, I think. Did they not?
Cookstown, they did. So
yeah,
I'm going to touch base on that. So they got a location in Erin, Ontario, and I would say about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, they opened up a new location in Cookstown. So
yeah, here they add on our country station up here. So that's it's cool to hear them expanding. Business has to be good, and
business is really good.
That bodes well for the racing.
Yeah, they are. So Kubota's really big into the race, and they always have been. Pretty sure they used to sponsor Cole Pern back in the CASCAR days, and
yep.
He won a championship with them, and they went on to sponsor obviously Jeff when he raced the late model deal, and they've always kind of been involved in the race and the Pinty series with Hathaway. So I'm glad they opened up another store out in Cookstown. I want to go out there and check it out. I hear it's pretty nice. So I think we're gonna do maybe a car show or something out there in the springtime with the car
cool.
show it off. So
I've never run a Kubota machine I didn't like. I've run a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing that we get to hear. You know, we get to hear about kind of the stuff that drivers, you know, do for their sponsors, and, and to have Stewart's equipment. You know, they were on Kyle Steckley's late model last year, so you know you have a committed owner. Obviously, you know, we're really excited for this season for you, Brandon. And, you know, you've got two buddies here from Stickers and Scuffs, and, you know, we'll get you a decal to run on your car. But I know that you've had a history with decals.
Yeah.
Another story apparently has to do with you and your decals, perhaps at Flamborough Speedway. Now, I'm wondering what this story is, because I was told it was a good one.
Yeah, so Herniacs must have gave you a lot of stories, asked me, eh? So, yeah. Ooh, yeah, there must be an owl in the room. No, Herniacs to me, we're good buddies. They're a good bunch of people. Herniac Hall Motorsports are they're good people. And kind of got introduced to them, you know, through the Lucas Oil series. And one night we were at Flamborough with, you know, their car counts were decent, but they could have used a few more cars. And they asked me to bring my super stock out the one night to Flamborough. And so I brought it out. It wasn't even my super stock, actually. It was Kevin Gallant. And so the Saturday was the race at Flamborough. And then the Sunday was, I believe, Velocity at Sunset.
Okay.
So I went to Flamborough on the Saturday with the car, qualified, I think maybe 15th, drove up to 4th, I believe, finished 4th around there, ran out of brakes. And so after the race, at the time, the series owner, whoever, Brandon Heros, he was coming to Sunset with me. But first, after the race, when we loaded it all up, Herniacs were out in the campground having a couple waters. So,
as they're known to do.
Yeah.
I've had some of their water.
Yeah.
Some of their land shark water.
Yeah. When we were pulling out, I decided to stop in and see if I could grab a water because I was a little bit dehydrated. So we, you know, we hung around for a bit, and I think I decided to go back because I had a few waters, to go back to a friend's house and just get up early and go to Sunset the next day. So I left my truck and trailer with the Herniacs at the campground, as long as with Brandon's Lucas Oil car right side by side, and which I thought was going to be safe. So the next day I get there early. I don't even look in the trailer. We got to go, probably running a bit behind. So I jump in the truck and go up the road, go to Sunset. And I unload this race car. I tell you what, I had Herniac Hall racing stickers everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere. Dry shaft, rear end, inside the car, inside the windows, on my helmet, on my seat, on the air breather, everywhere. Kevin was still finding them, like, in places where stickers never should have been. And how they got them there is beyond me. It's crazy. They stickered me right up. And I'm like, I seen the first couple. I'm like, oh, funny trick. You know, they open the back of the trailer, put a couple on. I got them on either side of my helmet, and I just kept finding them. So after the race or whatever, I call them up. They're like, well, it was better than our original plan. I think maybe Mama Herniac put a stop to it, but I guess they were going to unload the race cars and switch race cars in the trailer. If I would have shown up to Sunset Speedway with a Lucas Oil car in my trailer, with us supposed to be having a super stock, it would have been, it would not been good.
No,
they were just having fun, but yeah, they got me with the stickers.
Well,
Brandon, man, it's fun to hear it from the other side.
It really is. It is. It definitely is.
I'm sure they said they probably put 1 or 2 stickers on there, right?
Oh no, that was a complete. Your story's completely jive.
Oh, okay.
They said they put place stickers. I believe almost verbatim that they put stickers in places that you wouldn't think there would be stickers. Like
no,
I forget how much they spend on decals on the car.
I was gonna say that means they must mean they love you, buddy, because the amount of cost it takes to make decals.
That's right.
Clearly, you get laughing all the way to the bank there, man. But it's
they're good folk.
They're good folk, and yourself, you're good folk too, Brandon. We're really honored that you came on board and chatted with us tonight, and you done some good stuff in racing. We're looking forward to seeing what else you can do this year, and you're with somebody else that races, and I know this is a loaded question, but I haven't been able to get somebody on here that has a significant other or a partner that races as well. If it comes down to the white flag and it's side by side, is it a clean finish?
She's gone.
She gone?
Hey,
all right.
we got to go
right here.
Yeah. I don't know if many people know this, but I may or may not have costed her and her dad a few dollars this year. So we already found each other on the racetrack running for like 18th. We both got caught up in a couple of wrecks, and it was one of the last cautions of the race. And I got a little throttle happy, and she ended up about on my air breather, and that's where she got arrested. So she got pretty jacked up, and I bent some stuff up on her car. So I said, that was for 18th. Imagine for first. So
paints the picture.
I think that's a great,
a pretty cool thing. Jeff Stewart and Stewart's Equipment is sponsoring her as well this year.
Nice.
So
great.
We're going to be, both Stewart's cars out there. I'm obviously going to be racing for Jeff, and he's going to sponsor her. And I think he's sponsoring a few other people again, like Andrew Gressel and I forget who else, but yeah. So it's going to be a good little year for
Equipment.
We're going to pump the Stewarts out there big time. So
definitely, absolutely, thank them, because without them, we wouldn't have such great racing and have so many cars on the track. So thank you for Stewarts. How can people check out Stewarts? This is going to be sponsor stuff that you can do right now. So how can we follow Stewarts? And you
can catch them on Instagram. They run a pretty good little page on Instagram, Stewart's Equipment. They're on Facebook as well. I'm not sure about Twitter, but they're out there. You just search them up, Stewart's Equipment, and or you can just call them up and order yourself one of them Kubota tractors, and
and how can we follow you on social media, Brandon?
Well, I used to be a Twitter junkie, but not so much more. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things because racing is all about social media and pumping up with social media. So I have a Twitter. I believe it's at Brandon McFerran. Instagram is Brandon_McFerran. And I have a racing page on Facebook, Brandon McFerran Racing, or you can just add me as a friend, Brandon McFerran. We'll talk.
Yeah, of course. There's one thing about drivers. One thing about drivers is that they any partner they'll take.
Yeah.
If you have a small business or a big business, just I think a lot of businesses shy away from racing because they think it's going to be crazy expensive. But all you have to do is ask.
Yeah,
and
racing. People don't understand. Racing is a tight knit family. Like, this winter, for instance, Layton Zardo's up at the shop with me, tearing the body and motor out of my car. Like, we all help each other out, and we're all pretty tight knit. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a few people that don't come to my Christmas dinner, but I do have a lot of friends out there, a lot of good friends, and I go to the racetrack to race and win. But don't get me wrong, I enjoy going and seeing the friends there and seeing everybody. It's cool.
I think one more thing before we go now. We've had so many episodes now where I think everything sort of leads back to the Zardos. I think we're going to need to do a Zardo miniseries someday, Cam.
I think so. There's so many connections here. It's like we did a family tree of the racing world. I mean, it literally comes back to the Zardos, it looks like.
Absolutely.
They're pretty big. You know what? I can't get away from the damn guy. I don't know if you noticed. I'm up in a hotel room right now for work, way up in Bob Cajun. So I'm up here minding my own yesterday. I'm in my hotel room, about to settle in. I get a phone call. Hey man, are you up in like Lindsay, Bob Cajun area? I'm like, yeah. Are you at the Days Inn? Yeah. I'm in 105 downstairs.
No way.
Him and his buddy, Chad Corcoran, they're here for work. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I just left this guy. We were together having a couple drinks on Saturday or whatever it was. And I said, well, I'm up here for 20 days. So this is going to be good for us. So I said, I'm about tired of your stuff here. So I'm going for a vacation. And he said, yeah, same to you. And then now we're in the same hotel. So
oh my God, that's hilarious.
Down and see him here in a couple minutes when I'm done here and probably have a Bud Light.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Bud Light, if you're out there, here's a guy that likes your product.
Yeah.
Brendan McFerran on the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you all
next week.